All right, get ready to dive into the world of parkour, a sport that truly pushes the limits. We're going deep into the life of Wid Eriksen. You might not know the name right off the bat, but his story, anything but ordinary.
You're not kidding. Erickson's journey is like the ultimate example of turning what you love into what you do, even when it throws some crazy curveballs at you.
And we've got a ton of material to dig into his talent agency's super slick profile, raw footage straight from his YouTube channel, and a bio that reads like an action movie. Talk about a mixed bag. Like the agency bio, it paints Erickson as this parkour phenom born in Tijuana, Mexico, American Ninja Warrior competitor, even has his own clothing line. It's all impressive, sure, but it feels, I don't know, kind of like a highlight reel?
Mm. Yeah, it's like trying to cram a whole life story onto one of those trading cards. But here's what I find interesting. Even in that short profile, you see Erickson trying to control his own story. He's not just letting others speak for him. He's on social media, YouTube, crafting his own image.
And thank goodness for that. His YouTube is where you get the real deal, the raw talent, the risks he's taking, none of that agency polish. For example, his bio mentions growing up with barely any TV channels, mostly news and cartoons. And guess what caught young Wide's eye? Power Rangers and Jackie Chan.
Almost too perfect,
Yeah.
right? But it just shows how those early influences, those things you're drawn to as a kid, can have a huge impact later on. You can practically draw a straight line from those TV stunts to what Erickson's doing in parkour.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. You've got the agency's all polished and airbrushed version of Ericsson, right? Then you go to his YouTube and it's like entering a completely different world. Suddenly it's scraped knees, close calls, the real effort you need to be great in something so demanding.
And that realness, that's what makes action sports like parkour grab people. It's not just seeing the amazing stuff, it's connecting with the human story behind it all.
Totally. And speaking of dedication, check this out. Erickson used to jump the school fence to get to internet cafes just so he could watch parkour videos. Imagine being that into it before most people even knew what it was.
Think about the hurdles he was already facing back then. Not just physical ones, but the social stuff too. Limited resources, no real training, probably a lot of people doubting him. That self-taught attitude, figuring things out on his own, that's something you see in a lot of innovators, don't you think?
It really is. And on top of that, he's dealing with some pretty serious stuff around him. His YouTube descriptions and that bio paint a very clear picture of what it was like training in a city with, well, cartel violence. This wasn't just messing around, there was real danger involved.
It's hard to even imagine having to deal with that kind of uncertainty every day, always aware of the threats around you.
Hmm.
And I think that says a lot about Erickson's character. That environment, those experiences, they probably shaped how he handles risk in parkour too. They built that resilience in him, that mental strength to not just get by, but to excel.
It's like he learned how to shut out all that noise, to just focus on what he loved, even with everything going on.
Exactly. And that resilience, that laser focus, it's what took him from hopping fences to watch parkour videos to joining 3RUN, a top-tier team. Now he's competing internationally, pushing the limits, even making it onto American Ninja Warrior. That's huge.
It's wild how Erickson's journey kind of mirrors parkour itself, right? He went from literally jumping fences to get to training resources to having those same obstacles recreated on a global stage like Ninja Warrior.
You know, you could almost call it the classic hero's journey. Leaving home, facing trials, achieving recognition. But we're seeing that those trials, those setbacks for Eriksen, they were intense, really pushing him to the edge.
His bio talks about this almost unbelievable trip he took to Europe. He goes through a whole string of rough situations, sleeping wherever he can, trying to navigate unfamiliar places, sometimes dangerous too. And then, get this, he even gets kidnapped. And we're not talking about some romanticized character building thing here. This was serious, dangerous stuff.
It makes you think twice about how we view success, doesn't it? We see the highlights, the awards, the sponsors, but often getting there means going through some real darkness.
It's a good reminder that behind every seemingly effortless performance, there's a story of guts, determination, and overcoming the odds. You'd have to imagine that going through that level of hardship, feeling that vulnerable, probably changed how Erickson saw success and how fleeting fame can be.
Without a doubt. It probably gave him a deep appreciation for the present moment, for the people he met along the way, for how resilient humans can be. Because remember, through all of that, those crazy experiences, he never let go of his passion.
He didn't just survive, he flourished. And that brings us to a really interesting point in his story. So what's Eriksen up to now after reaching those heights in parkour? Well, it turns out he's not just kicking back and relaxing, he's building something really special.
What's fascinating is that Erickson hasn't boxed himself in. He's not just an athlete. He's a coach, a mentor, an entrepreneur. He's built this multifaceted career where he can share his passion, give back, and build a legacy that goes way beyond his own achievements.
So instead of just doing those incredible things himself, he's empowering others to find their own potential in parkour. And he's doing it all with someone who shares that passion, his partner Alea, who's a successful parkour athlete in her own right.
Their partnership, both personally and professionally, just shows you the power of shared passion, a shared vision. It's inspiring to see them supporting each other's goals while also working together to create something amazing within the parkour world.
And that collaborative energy, that drive to see what's possible in parkour, it's in everything Erickson does. He's not just about beating the obstacles himself, he's creating a path for other people to follow. And that gets to something we wanted to leave you with today. Erickson's journey, all the ups and downs, it shows how those little things from our past, those moments we might not even think about, they can shape us in ways we never saw coming.
It's easy to look back and see those turning points, right? Those moments where our life took a certain direction. But what if we could do that NOW in the moment? What if we could recognize how important those little interests are, those unexpected things we're drawn to? What if those are actually clues to our own path?
Exactly. Like, what if that thing you were obsessed with as a kid, the thing that made everyone else jealous, or that time you found something totally new and just had to learn more, what if those were signs pointing you in the right direction?
That's it. Those little moments, those sparks of curiosity, they often hold the key to our passions, to what we're really capable of. It's about paying attention to what clicks with us, what lights that fire inside, and then being brave enough to go after it, even if it takes us off the beaten path.
So here's something to think about today. Take a look back at your own journey. What were those early experiences, those unexpected things that influenced you, those times something just clicked?
And as you're looking back, don't dismiss anything as unimportant. You might be amazed at what you find, the connections between then and now. And you might find new possibilities open up when you embrace those seemingly small but incredibly powerful moments that inspired you along the way. Who knows, you might just uncover a passion you never knew you had, or find a strength inside yourself that you never realized was there.
Erickson's story is a testament to the power of human potential and a reminder that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges, with enough passion and determination, we can achieve extraordinary things. And who knows, maybe somewhere out there, someone's watching your highlight reel inspired by the path you've carved. Until next time, keep exploring, keep pushing those boundaries, and most importantly, keep that fire alive.